everyone. Oh yeah, I got some text here. What's up, what's up? Can you hear me on twitch.tv? Testing on the HTTPoetics Showcase live stream. Oh, what's up? What's up, Kitty Meow Mix? What's up, Jetson Live? Oh, hey, Maury. Good to see some of you folks in the chat. Gonna get started in a moment here. Gonna give people a minute or two to filter in, and start around 2:05. Oh, hey, Ragnar, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're excited to debut in the new software and game development category here on Twitch. Before we were in the science and technology category, and I was just looking at that category this morning. And now that this software, like the software and game development one is mostly people coding, and the science one is like people doing home science experiments. And it's really cool, but I feel like a little not disingenuous for, I don't want to steal their valor for not doing home science experiments. But highly recommend the science and technology channel. You can see people doing like little physical computing projects at home and that kind of thing. Welcome everybody to the HTTPoetics Anthology launch showcase for our HTTPoetics class. Really excited to be here with all of you. We've got a really amazing Zoom room full of HTTPoetics participants who are excited to show their pieces to you. We'll get started with that in a moment. Oh wow, we're hitting the deeper tracks of my royalty-free music playlist. Gotta shout out. Royalty-free does not mean credit-free. Shout out to MBB for our first track, Sax. And here we have Childhood Memories with Ambulo. I'm gonna fade that out real quick. Well, I'm gonna fade it in and then out. All right, let me show you a little bit of. Oh wait, where's my other scene? Oh yeah. I used to have a little scene where I could make my face nice and small. But all right, I'm gonna show you a little bit about HTTPoetics, and then we'll get started with some presentations of some websites we made for it. All right, and yeah, I'll be following along in the chat. I used to run a lot of events in this style of like broadcasting out of Zoom channel and running online events during the pandemic. It's been a little bit since I've kind of managed a live stream, so a live stream from home anyway. I do a lot of hybrid events for the school these days. So at any point, if you can't hear or see something you feel like you should be able to hear or see, please let me know in the chat, and I'll do my best to fix it. All right, let's talk about HTTPoetics. All right, here's a syllabus, and now you can't see me, which is not good, but now you can. Here I am, I'm a little circle. Oh no, that's not what I want to be. All right, hold on, time to be a different little circle. No. Yeah, oh no. Here we go, I can do this. Yeah, there we go. I'm a little circle in the corner. That's what I've always wanted to be. This is really more OBS poetics at this point. Yeah, I'm just a little circle flying around. This is great. It's what I've always wanted to be. Hey, welcome everyone. I'm Todd Anderson. I'm one of the co-directors of School for Poetic Computation. and that is the school that hosts my class, HTTPoetics, which is a class I've taught twice now. We just finished our second run of it this summer. It was a 5-week class, and yeah, I really like the description I wrote for this one, so I'll read that out to you. It gives you a little bit of what we're doing in this class. So, a website is a poem that is already in everyone's pocket, a house built from photos of other houses, a book where every chapter is another book, where every chapter is another book. In this class, we will be studying the poetics of the web, the raw material of HTML, the systematic visuals of CSS, the endless interactive possibilities of JavaScript, and the browsers, servers, protocols, and infrastructure that holds it all together. Each week we will make websites. We'll make small websites that only convey a tiny single idea. We'll make large websites whose clutter and convoluted interlocking pages feel like exploring an abandoned mansion. We will make websites that speak, websites with secrets, websites that tell one perfectly executed joke. And as we build the web, we'll also learn its history, from the early GeoCities days to the ways we tried to be fully present over the pandemic and all the wonderful and useless websites artists have made in between. So that's sort of what we're doing here. We're kind of getting to the raw elements of websites and making websites for fun and creativity and not just for business or portfolio or various utilitarian aims that you might make a website for. And we look at a number of different things here. Started out with making some learning HTML, and what better way to learn HTML? Oh, I see Cool Groceries in the chat. Welcome, Kayla. And I should mention, I'm supported by my assistant teachers, Tyler Yin and Kayla Drzwicki. It's really been amazing to have their support in developing this class as well. But yeah, so over the course of this class, this is a 5-week version. It was initially a 10-week, and for the 5-week, what we have been doing, starting with HTML, starting out making an ugly website and thinking about what makes us think of websites as ugly. Some really fun ways of just getting quick and dirty with HTML, making some stuff that looks fun and gross. Let me see what we made. Am I just gonna? Maybe I can pull something up live in class Friday, week 1. Yeah, this is what I made in class. Just make an ugly, terrible little website. We can see what I made on Sunday. Yeah, the J-Train Lead Paint Memorial website. Shout out to anyone in Bushwick living along the J train where that lead paint is being removed. Yeah, just making some ugly little websites. Over here, as a way of learning HTML, week 2 we learned some CSS and got really into spacing and placing things around a page. And our assignment this week. Oh yeah, sorry about your gate station, Maury. Yeah, that's if you ever pass by a truck that makes just like an unforgivably loud sound along Broadway. That's what's going on. We're here. Well, I live in Brooklyn in New York City. I realize we have people joining us from around the world, and the trials and tribulations of our local train station having lead paint removed may feel distant from you, but it is very real part of my life, and I had to share it in website form. But yeah, so after learning HTML, we moved into CSS and placing things on the page, and we had a weekly prompt of making a website that is way too big. You'll see some examples of that today. But yeah, that was really fun thinking about placing things on the page. I always like to see about, I have an in-class example where we make a submarine. You just kind of can fly around with it, be like, oh, okay, now we can learn about squids. All right, I'm gonna keep going, and you can just fly around. Yeah, it's fun to make a big website, and a great way to learn how to position things. Then we got into JavaScript interactivity, learning how to make a button that changes things. That was a lot of fun. Played around with making some magic 8 balls and thinking about all these websites that change as you press a button. Then we got into playing with the mouse, websites that react to the mouse. see one of my all-time favorite websites, EelSlap, which has a lapsed certificate, but yeah, you can just really give this guy the business. What I love about this website is it uses traditional animation techniques. So like this isn't a bunch of individual frames. This is, in fact, here, let me pull this up. If we look at here, all right, let's 16. So if you look at, this is the image that's being scrolled through, and there's several images that are many horizontal animated frames that you can scrub through, and it's like a mix of digital animation and also, like, I mean, this is how animation works on film, so it's pretty fun thing to experiment. And so we had these 4 project assignments of ugly website, big website, website with a button, and website where that changes as you move the mouse. And you'll be seeing some examples, and then we put together an anthology where the students were then able to either go in a new direction or revise one of the things they made in class, and we put them all together in a big collection, which I am excited to announce to you all here is available at htpoetics.neocities.org/anthology/2025. Oh yeah. And created as part of HTTPoetics, taught by me, with Kayla and Tyler at SFPC. Yeah, shout out to SFPC as well. I love SFPC. I work there, but I also love it, and it's the best platform for teaching I've ever been a part of. So we're going to be announcing some classes for winter next month, so keep an eye out if you'd like to take a class with us. All right. So I'm going to warm up and get us started here by sharing a project from one of our students who couldn't make it directly, but gave me permission to share their site. And so we're going to take a look at Rona Henderson's piece, Antra, which is, I believe, Irish for the beach. And this was as part of our Make a Really Big website assignment. And Rona is a teacher based in Ireland, and really dug into the Irish beach side as you can move your little bug avatar through the ruins of the Statue of Liberty and the Planet of the Apes. Find a little ice cream bar. Ooh, we can land on a fish. Land on a different fish. Chip. Chip over here. Ooh, some seaweed. Hang out in there. Ooh, can just nestle in this little mannequin hand. Fly around. Hang out in the bucket. Oh wow, got a nice big bird. Oh no, getting little shell, little transistor. Oh no, getting caught. Getting caught in the 6-pack rings. Ah, no. Oh man, garbage. Ah, shark. And a coin. Yeah, it's really fun meditation on all the things that exist in the sea and the beach, from creatures to garbage, and our impact on there. I love this little fly that's centered on the screen as we move and create some really nice little escapes. So I know Rona was new to making websites. This is, I think, one of the first couple that she had made, and really cool to see how this came together. So thanks, Rona, and thanks for letting me share that piece of yours. But yeah, I'm going to now move us on to one of our first live presenters here. I've got to shift back into Big Todd mode. Yay, yeah, there he is. We love this transition. Um, and I'm going to queue up our first presenter here, live presenter, who's going to be Lauren. Let's give a big welcome in the chat for Lauren. And let me see. All right, Lauren, you are on screen.
Hi, hello everybody. I really enjoyed this class this summer. And one of the first sites that I worked on was surrounded by the idea of breaking things, in particular jars. And so I kind of expanded on that idea for my final project for this showcase, and I created something I'm calling the break room. So I'll share my screen. Looks like I have to
Oh
request to
wait.
share
Oh
it.
yeah, that's because I was sharing my music earlier. I think it should be live.
Okay. Okay. Hope it's showing. Um, so I created this break room and I changed the mouse into this little hammer. And each one of these makes a delightful sound, which might sound familiar to those of you who are familiar with KidPix, which was a like 90s, early 2000s like photo editing software for like children. Somebody uploaded all of the sounds for KidPix, so I ended up using them for these jars. Um, and I wanted to have not only like breaking of these physical items, but also thinking about like broken links. So if you click some of them, it brings you to these fake like broken link pages um, that are also kind of fun, I think. Um, and when you're done breaking all of these, let me move this back up to the top. When you're done breaking all of these, if you can navigate all of these fake ones, it'll actually bring you to a new area. So once I've done that, it brings me to another area where I break, continue breaking things, and then it kind of brings you to this other poetic space. Um, And part of what I wanted to do here that I think I'm still kind of workshopping um, is encouraging the person who's seeing this page to actually look at the source code for the page. Because this piece of writing or poem, I'm not sure quite what to call it at this point, this is only actually part of the story, only part of it's visible. Um, so we have this like typing animation. And when it's done, I want to make sure that everybody reads the whole thing. So, like we did many times in this class, we're going to use the inspect feature. Um, and there's actually a lot more hidden in the JavaScript for the page, which honestly, maybe I'll let everybody figure out on their own. Maybe that would be fun too, um, to be able to explore it. But there's lots of notes too in the HTML, telling you kind of where to go, where might be a good place to look for the rest of this story. So I'll actually leave it there for people to explore. But there's another part of this poem that I think is fun and thinks about breaking from a different perspective. Um, so yeah, that's my project. Um, and I think I'll continue to kind of workshop it, but really grateful for this space for getting me started.
Woo! Yeah, thanks so much, Lauren. Thanks for starting us off here. Um, that was really great. Um, love clicking on things in that break room, um, and the practice of including things in the JavaScript. We did spend a lot of time just like looking at source code, learning from other people's websites, but then also it's a great place to hide things, and there's a lot of web artists will hide things in there themselves. That was really cool to see. Um, all right, coming up next, our next presenter is Julia. Let's give it up for Julia. Oh, and chat. I know you're new to running events with me, but I'm gonna need you to really, if you have a Twitch account, I'm gonna need you popping off in the chat, saying things like "woo" and "clap" and "yeah" and "I'm excited" and just really sharing your energy with these presenters who are here live with us. 'Cause, they deserve your energy. Yes, thank you, WTTDOTM. That is the energy we need here. Alrighty, let's give it up for Julia.
All right, hi, I'm Julia. Um, I'm also very new to building websites, so I learned a ton in this class and really enjoyed it. So one of the ones I was making for the assignment of a big website was using recursion and having iframes that lead to other iframes in kind of creating infinity mirrors. So I was interested in images and stories that loop on each other, and how those can kind of lead to feedback loops where things start to break down and are no longer visible or no longer able to interact with them. So I wanted to kind of build on that idea and use it to explore, I guess, mirror images of different narratives. So I was looking at, in particular, narratives about climate change in the future and these kind of opposition of optimism and hope versus doom and spiraling, and having these two different narratives that collapse in on each other and then eventually break down and uh, loop back, I guess. So I'll share my screen. All right. So I'll just click through, and yeah, so I started with this little intro screen that explores this idea of looking into a mirror with these boxes, and then ideas start breaking out of the boxes. And then having these two different narratives that explore different versions of the future. And then loop out on each other. And just keep going in these infinite loops until they eventually start to run out of space. And it becomes harder to click things. But then if you start clicking outside the screen, there's an infinite number of these that can keep coming up. And then whenever those start to collapse as well, you can loop back to the start, and it just repeats in another loop. And you can go the other way, and it does the same thing in the other direction. Yeah. So I was interested in having something that is infinite, but also kind of collapses on itself and breaks down as you interact with it.
Thanks so much, Julia. And our streamed audience is hearing a boisterous round of applause sound effect that I have piped in from the YouTube video. I can't get it to play on the Zoom without too much technical difficulty, but please, everyone, imagine this boisterous audience clapping, because that is what is happening. People are popping off in the chat. Thank you so much for sharing that piece. And that's, yeah, I really love that kind of it feels like very much the kind of thing we're going for. And HTTPoetics is just like learning some of the basics of how even just like simple elements, something like an iframe or a button, how they can interact and how can you push them to their limits. and explore rather than making a website that is just like trying to accomplish a simple purpose or is trying to wow and impress with how it looks like right out of the box. There's just like a lot of really interesting, poignant exploration that can be just like using a few little elements, a few little things, and then putting them together, following your instinct about what does this make me feel? What is this like? What do I want to explore about this? So I really appreciate that piece. Thank you, Julia. Um, Coming up next on our showcase presentation, we are going to be hearing from Grace. Let's give it up in the chat for Grace. And oh yeah, here comes that applause sound effect. Oh, it's storming the stage. Oh, I'm just gonna unspotlight Julia here. And let's see. There we go. Hey, Grace.
Hi. I'm super nervous. I feel like I'm gonna black out from everything I say from this point onwards. Hello. Uh, Weirdly, I don't know if it's because I'm screen sharing, but I feel like the hover over feature, just kidding, it's working. False alarm. Um, yeah, so this is something we made during week 3. I think we were focusing on getting the mouse to do something different this week. This class was also my first time coding, and I had a lot of fun every week doing all the different assignments and really like thinking outside of the box. And I feel like I walked away from it with like an expanded idea of like what websites could do. I think previously I thought they were just like digital display windows for stuff people wanted to sell online. So yeah, this it was a really fun experience. Okay, so for this project, I was thinking a lot about translation, and I got a lot of help on it from Tyler, our TA, and he had also sent me this video talking about translation. And now it's been a while, so I can't like reproduce what the content was about. But essentially, it lodged this idea in my head about translation itself being an act of kind of distortion. And so I think I was just trying to translate that experience of like the original text going through this like transformation and like distortion through the act of translating, and the result being something that is just kind of something new and isn't exactly a one-to-one translation of the original text, but its own kind of like mutant being. So this is like an original Korean poem by Choi Seung-ja, and or like a portion of it. And when I hover, you can see like the individual words in the poem. And when I click, it'll translate each word into English. But the result is that then the remaining text gets like skewed and distorted as a result of the translation. And then, if you just like kind of go crazy and click around a lot, text just gets really distorted and like you can't even really see the English text anymore, and it just is just chaos. Yeah, and what you're hearing, the string sounds, is a Korean kayagum. It's like a original folk Korean instrument. Yeah, and then it's just like fun to like hover around and see all the weird ways that the original text was distorted and like you can't even read the original poem anymore. Ah, okay. So yeah, that's my project. I would love to work on it a little bit more to make the distortion a little more elegant. Like I just want a little more micro control over it, but I don't have that skill right now, so this is what I've got. But yeah, thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, Grace. Oh no, there we go. There's my sound effect. Oh yeah, we're applauding. Thanks so much, Grace. That was really cool. Amazing presentation. Yeah, I think like one of the things we talked about in the class that that Grace's piece really highlighted there is that like HTML, just like raw HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, is like one of the best engines available for dealing with text. Like if you want to deal with text on a pixel by pixel basis for print, then InDesign or something like that is good. But the browser has so many amazing built-in tools for like filling a screen with text and changing how it looks in a uniform way, and like exploring like the visual aesthetics of text in a really playful way. And there's just like lots of different ways you can use text as not just a vehicle for content or meaning, but as just like creating the visuals of your page, just like using different sizes and colors of text. And I really like how in Grace's piece we get to see the kind of the Korean typography just kind of like become this overwhelming kind of chaotic thing taking over the screen. That was awesome. Alrighty. I have another piece to show you from a student who is not here. So let me bring that up here. And if you're just joining us, and I'm really like should have prepped these scenes in advance, but we can all enjoy me making myself small. Oh yeah, there's Small Todd. Small Todd in a circle. Another killer transition here. So I'm going to share a piece from Nico Perry, one of our students in the class who has a loving website here in our anthology. So I didn't formally share in the chat, but all these pieces can be found in our anthology, our HTTPoetics 2025 anthology. So if you are curious about something someone was presenting, you can check it out there. But yeah, here is a piece of Nico's where we are exploring a web page that is way too big, or maybe just big enough. And I remember I remember seeing this piece in class, a memory garden, sort of like a journal of past experiences, tendering to our memory garden, remembering the good and the bad. And in here we're using horizontal scroll. So we're moving through June 2025, e-visits from Spain. 2018, I got suspended from school for a week. Cloud. September 23, Sarai died, I miss you. March 2000, born. 2006, we get my first. We have some cool, this fun double text thing. I think, like, I imagine this wasn't intentionally layered on top of each other, but it kind of creates this nice little layered poetic effect. 2022, S and I fall in love. 2012, I meet my childhood friends, people I still keep in contact with. 2023, I drop out of college, fading away. 2016, we get another family dog. Flower. I fell out quickly. Sorry. Unknown, inconsistent. I worry about my parents' health. Wonder what I'm doing. And then I think, yeah, as it's all kind of layered on the screen, kind of got to see these memories shared kind of different points in time, but connected via some emotional valence and across these beautiful gradients. So really excited to share that piece from Nico. And Nico, thank you for letting me share that with everyone. Unsurprising maybe for a class called HTTPoetics, but we did talk about poetry a decent amount in this class, and how websites can be poetic, and how you might make a website for delivering a poem or delivering a poetic text. That's very much to give you a peek behind the curtain. That's what got me into making this sort of work myself, and to teaching this class. I have a background in poetry, and when I was starting writing poetry, it was the kind of thing like where, like, because it's not super profitable to run a poetry journal, a lot of people were running poetry journals that were just websites, and you could submit poetry to journals, and I was getting some poem published. in online journals, but it just felt really weird and bad to like send people a link to a poem on a website and it's just like a block of text, and I could always just picture people just like scanning through it and like skipping every third word and not hearing it in their head and just like skimming it and not having any sort of a resonant experience with it. And so I really got into making my own websites as a way of just creating a vehicle for a poetic text, so you could like actually force you to pause or like feel the weight of the language of the text and feel the images and be in the right headspace to actually receive the poem. And I think Nico really demonstrated some of that with this poetic text and like the horizontal scroll and spacing things out around the screen, so you can't just absorb all this information at once. You have to kind of move through and take each event. You really get that sense of the passage of time. Um, Really great work, Nico. Thanks for letting me share that. Um, Up next, we have another live presenter, and we are going to be joined by Manu. Let's give it up in the chat for Manu. Here comes the applause.
Hey, hello everyone. Sorry my camera isn't working. Let me share my screen. Okay, so my project was inspired by our assignment to make a really big website. And when we started discussing this assignment in class, my first thought was Lambda Moo. So I don't know if anyone is familiar with Lambda Moo, but it is a Moo, which is MUD object-oriented, and MUDs are multi-user dungeons that existed before browsers. And um, Moos are something that I've been interested in for a very long time, around 10 years now. And I'd actually had a character on this Lambda Moo for a while, but I started exploring again to get inspiration for this assignment to make a really big website. And then I ended up making this site inspired by it, and I'll show you a bit. It'll give you a bit of an idea if you don't know much about Lambda Moo, about what they're like. Oh yeah, and check the content warnings. Sexual violence and illness, just a few things. So moves are all completely text-based, and there isn't very much clicking at all. Everything is text commands. You connect usually via Telnet, but most people use a Moo client just to make it easier. And you use text commands to navigate the environment and interact with the objects in the environment. So for example, this one here, I've described a room, and we can see that in this room there is, for example, a notebook. So if we type look notebook, we can interact with this object and see the description. And if you read the notebook, well, this was kind of a project within a project. I made this notebook. This one is a little more inspired by Tumblr. Some people might see the similarities because I made tagged posts here just to collect quotes and images on different topics that are related to some of the topics that I explored in this site. Some of them being Lambda Moo or hypertext and virtual worlds. And then I really wanted to make this an interactive and explorable type of environment, kind of like a game. So there are a few commands you can do with this site. You can read things, you can look at different objects, and you can get some information about things. Like you can say about here and read a bit more about page. You can look at Mazuli, which is my character. You can also look at the room itself. You can look at the bookshelf and see things that are on the bookshelf, like the diary, which you can read as well, which has a little more about my history with the Moo. And then I had some issues today with NeoCities updating, so the link didn't work, but there's also a short history of Lambda Moo. And I added some more interactive things in here, but kind of like Lauren was saying earlier with her presentation, if you want to explore it a bit, I won't show everything. So if you want to go back and see it, the link is on the anthology, like Todd was saying.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Manu. Yeah, really cool piece, and that's like I don't know if any of you in the chat have played any console-based interactive fiction, but it was really exciting to see that kind of just that central mechanic of like typing things and interacting with the world, and then having that open up new websites. Just makes that piece feel so big and expansive, and yeah, I really recommend you explore it. A lot of interesting things in there. Alrighty. Coming up next, we have, let's keep that YouTube applause playlist going for Nicole. What up for Nicole here?
Hi, thank you so much. I'm Nicole. I have some experience coding since the days of MySpace, so I was excited to develop this practice in HTTPoetics. And my design sensibility is really rooted in the joy, play, curiosity, exploration that shaped the early internet aesthetic. So I'm going to share my screen. My piece is called In My Pocket, and it's the name of a 2001 Mandy Moore song, but also a play on words of iPod's original slogan, 1,000 songs in your pocket. So the directions for the game are up at the top. There's a go button that starts the game, stop that stops the game, space bar pauses and unpauses. And then the catcher here is a second generation iPod Nano, which came out in 2006. And you can even choose your color here: blue, green, pink, silver. And so when you start the game, you will see an album from 2006 fall, and you have to catch it in your iPod. Let's pause. Let's change to green. Okay. And I missed one. If you catch 100 albums, then you win a $500 gift certificate to Delia's. It's accepted at any participating US store. And then if you lose, the game is over, as InSync says. So yeah, I really just wanted to play. There was a lot of trial and error that went into the game. But yeah, my goal here wasn't for it to be perfect or particularly complex. I just wanted to make something fun, and then you can pull up Spotify in the background and just, zone out for a little while. I feel like there's so many internet experiences now where it takes so much brain power, and sometimes you just want to turn it off and feel a little nostalgic. And there's really been kind of like this return to tactile media and friction in a way that is really fun and refreshing. So yeah, it might take a second if you want to see the 100 when you win. It might take a minute, but yeah, this is the gist. Oh, I lost again, my mistake.
Who in the chat is going to be the first to get 100?
When you're listening to music in the background, it goes by so fast.
Oh yeah, let me get some royalty-free music here.
Almost there. There we go. You get to see Hillary Duck do a round off back handspring because you won. Woo!
Yeah. Oh, so fun. That's awesome. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Really cool piece. And yeah, I love playing with that. That especially like 90s 2000s commercial aesthetic. So such a fun space to kind of move around in. That's I'm very. I mean, I teach that era and am nostalgic for it. 'Cause it's an area where like people and brands were all just kind of figuring it out, and like your personal website could be as good as like the local like phone company or like a utility company or like different government departments. You could have like the same quality website as a large multinational corporation. And everyone's just trying to make some HTML that's a little fun to spend time on.
Absolutely. I feel like 2006 in particular, too, is a really interesting time as opposed to when people think early web aesthetic. Yeah, sometimes we are back in the mid to late 90s. And in 2006, that was when we already had social media. So it was a really interesting time because it was before everyone got self-conscious on social
Mm-hmm.
media. So it's a very interesting inflection point where we can still move around on the internet with this sense of play that I think has been lost a little bit since, but at the same time, yeah, with a little HTTP, a little HTML and CSS and JavaScript, you're right back there.
Yeah, wow. I hadn't really thought about that. That is like a special time, like where there is social media and there is like you can design a website with the idea like, oh, maybe I'm gonna make something that someone else would want to share with someone else. But
Mhm.
not so much it's like yeah, whereas like the 90s was largely characterized by the feeling of privacy. Like you'd see someone's
Mhm.
website and you were just like, oh, this is like your journal. You're like not really expecting that I'm gonna be reading it. But yeah, like there is something inviting about that mid 2000s where everyone's just trying to make something fun that would be fun to share with someone else and without feeling crippled by it. Really
Totally.
cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole. Love the exploration of those aesthetics. All right. Coming up next on the live stream, let's give a warm YouTube and Twitch chat round of applause to Eric. Let's go, Eric. Oh, Eric isn't here. Oh no. All right, I am going to. We lost Eric. I'm going to stall by. I have one last little set of. Um, I was bragging to the class about how good I am at stalling and vamping, and now I'm pumped. I got a chance to show off. But yeah, I have two more pieces I can share with you, and maybe we'll see if we can get a visit from Eric in a little bit. Let me. Oh, here's
Sorry about
big
that.
circle dot. Oh, Eric, you here?
Yeah,
Oh
apologies. My
man.
network connection went out.
Perfect timing. All right. I will appear in a little bit, but now we have the real deal back on screen. Oh, there's Eric. Welcome, Eric.
How are there two of me for everyone?
Uh, I am showing. You will see yourself in my camera because
Oh,
my camera is just showing what's on the stream.
well,
So
this
this is
is
telling you. This is a video monitor. You're a professional broadcaster now.
this is terrifying. Um, I've never been so self-aware. Well, I guess I should screen share. So, um, I think before this class, I was talking to a friend saying, you know what? A friend who's much more accomplished and capable software engineer than I am. I would not consider myself a software engineer. I said, "Hey, what would you think about creating a socialist chatbot? Because we have so many capitalist chatbots out there." And she said, "I bet you could do that." And I didn't think I could, but through this class, I got the confidence to try. And so I've created I guess we could call it a prototype of socialist artificial intelligence. So this is a website, socialist.bot, if anybody wants to go check it out. where you can ask a socialist AI anything you want. So as you can see, it's very it's prototypical. Socialism always lags behind capitalism in terms of technology. That's why it looks like MS-DOS. But you can log in and you can ask it some questions. So we could ask it, how can we fix New York City? Or maybe how can the next mayor fix New York City? And we'll ask it. And let's see what it has to say. This also makes a beeping sound. Ooh. Addressing the complex challenges faced by a city like New York requires a class-conscious approach rooted in historical materialism and a critique of capitalism's inherent contradictions. Interesting. The next mayor should focus on systemic changes that prioritize the needs of the working class. All right. And I'll give you a little summary. So there are definitely some bugs to work out. The AI is obsessed with Tito, who was the leader of Socialist Yugoslavia. So we're going to work on that. But very much enjoyed. We got so much from this class in terms of learning how and gaining the confidence to try to create projects like this. So if you got any socialist questions, now you've got a bot who can give you socialist answers. So thanks, Todd, and everyone.
Yes, thank you, Eric. Very cool. I'm excited. Love that outcome of a class to feel you have a project that kind of exists in your head, and the barrier between that project just being in your head and something that is functional is we love to shrink that barrier here, and so very, very cool to put that together. It's so funny that the bot is obsessed with Tito. But yeah, one of those AI quirks we're all experiencing. Yeah. And yeah, I really wish more AI clients had that MS-DOS aesthetic.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me you're talking to a computer, not a person.
Yes, exactly. The verisimilitude can have a breakpoint there. Great, thanks so much, Eric. Alrighty, we have. I'm gonna show now. I have, I think, two more little websites. We don't have Ethan in the chat, right? No. So I'm going to show two more pieces from people that couldn't be here today, and then we'll have one or two more additional presentations in the chat, and then we will call it a day. Shout out to our online audience, though. Without you being here, this would feel very foolish to be doing. No, it wouldn't. We like each other and like sharing our work with each other, so it would not feel foolish. We would just have an empowering Zoom meeting. But we really appreciate you all being here and getting to share the work of our little classroom environment with you all. Yeah, I'm gonna, one last time, I know everyone wants to see it. Todd is gonna be a little circle one last time. Oh, I'm just a little circle. I'm a little circle in the corner. Terrapine, Carrie Paul, Space Cowboy Kitten, QUU. Thanks so much for joining us. All right, so first I'll share a piece from Ethan Gates. It's really great to have Ethan in the class. Ethan is an archivist and brought some of his history as an archivist to this page. As you can see, this is another website that is way too big. We can go through and hit save on this book, and then maybe there are others on here. Oh no, maybe I'm not using this website right. Oh, okay. We have someone in the chat who missed the yes. To the person in the chat who asked for the link, all these pages can be found on Anthology. Check out Ethan's project here. I think I'm gonna bring up his code to make sure I am using this correctly. Thing I often do. I am worried maybe it's opening weirdly on my computer. Sorry, Ethan, if you're seeing this, I might be using your project incorrectly. Love this big suite of folders though, and I think we have some ability. I would imagine there may be some buttons that aren't showing up here. But I'm gonna hop on over to Harrison King's Mouse City. This is for the website that changes as you move the mouse around it, and Harrison took that very literally in making Mouse City, which you can find here. Just a lot of mouse themed content that changes as you move the mouse over it. The mice of Mouse City get royalty checks in the mail every month. When you click your computer mouse, you're supporting the well-being of little rodents with big dreams. Okay. Generate some mice coin. Cheese theft. Oh, we got Rat Trap from the classic 90s three-dimensional cartoon Beast Wars. I love making this skateboarder kind of do crazy stuff. 1080. I've got a nice Redwall mouse. Mouston Squeaksazy. And yeah, one of the finally a coin for mice. And yeah, one of the nice things I like about this assignment and playing with the mouse is it's I don't know, we always feel like very confident in our abilities to just take in the full content of a web page at a glance, and that making a page full of things that react to the mouse just really forces you to move through it and like perceive each individual element to see if something's going to change. And ooh, the Emerald of 16 Peaks. Mouseism. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. Just moving these guys around. The end. Yeah. Ah, so fun. Thanks for that, Harrison. Harrison was on vacation for this one. Alrighty, we have two more presenters here on the call. So let's give a warm welcome here. Oh, let me get back to full size and come over here. Let's give a warm welcome to Hui, our next presenter here.
Hi everyone. Let me share my screen. Oh, I'm having trouble here.
Is it not letting you share the screen? Or?
Yeah, it says access unknown, or everything is unknown here.
You could either go to your system preferences. I could also share screen, and you could talk over it while I show it. Have you shared screen on Zoom before on this computer?
Okay, so this is a new computer, so that's probably why.
Yeah, if you're on Mac, go into system preferences and turn on allow Zoom to do screen sharing.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I might need some more time.
That is all right. Yeah, take a stab at it. Do we have Iris ready to go? Maybe we can move over to Iris and then come back to Hui.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Alrighty. Claps for Iris. Here. There we go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you are on
Okay.
stream.
Great. This is very exciting. I studied computer science many, many years ago, but um, I really value this community because I feel like I've learned more from folks who are just starting to code about what's possible with technology than I did for so many years in undergrad and trying to be in the industry. So I'm just deeply grateful. One of the things that I'm really interested in is the intersection of healing and technology. And part of that is because I'm a coach, I'm a life coach, and I support creative folks in their process. And in this project, I was moved to explore two fundamental tools that are used in coaching, which are curiosity and silence. Meaningful questions and the space that surrounds those questions. When I was playing with other ideas for the project, I was inspired by particle systems, which I think are really cool. And that's what you can see here, which you can use your mouse and move around and create really beautiful patterns. It's just like really fun. But I started to ask some questions. I was wondering, what if a website could ask us to be present with it? What if a website could elicit mindful attention? What if doing nothing was an interaction in and of itself? What if just listening deeply was all we needed to do to watch something beautiful unfold? And so when we stop playing around and we stop trying to click something or move, then a poem starts to show up, asking us to listen to the silence that might be present. And I do think that part of the beauty of, I hope, of this work is to play with it yourself, so that you get to be with yourself as well. And so um, I'll let you explore that on your own time. Um, you can always go back to playing with the cool particles that use JavaScript and Canvas to make. Um, and then whenever you stay still, then it starts all over again. So, thank you.
Right. Thank you, Iris. A lovely piece. And yeah, I love how it plays with the, I don't know, like, I feel like there's definitely, I have this tendency with interactive websites where if I can interact with something, I'm going to interact with it as much as possible, nonstop, and just always try and see what's going on. And then once I'm done interacting with it, I want to leave or do something else. And I like how this really rewards and someone for maybe playing a little bit, but then also just sitting and staying on the website and looking and watching. Yeah, I love like different instances of when people can make a time-based work that is not just a video file. Uh, one of my favorite artists is Young Hei Chang at Heavy Industries, who I were initially like Macromedia Flash artists, and they made these things that were kind of like videos, but they would be Flash animations that you'd go to on a website. And one of the big things about them is that because they were animations rather than videos, there was no way to see a timestamp or a playhead, so you didn't know how long it was going to be or like how long it had been going on. It was just happening to you, and as you were watching it, and so you felt like you couldn't look away because what if it was about to end, and like what if you had to go this way again? So like that kind of ability for a website to just change as you watch it in a way that you can't easily, like you can't share to someone like 3 minutes into watching that poem. It's really really cool. All right, I'm gonna check back in with Hui. Hui, how are you doing?
Working.
It's
I got it
working.
to work. Yes.
Amazing. All right. So for our final presenter of the showcase, let's give a final round of applause for Hui.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. So this project was done, I think on the second week. It was about making a huge website. And for this, I wanted to explore kind of like how the extension of my physical self can be translated onto a digital platform, and how we often say our personal websites is an extension of ourself. And here I wanted to explore that in a literal sense, kind of using my skin as like a visual representation of my site, my skin as my website. So this is just a way to kind of share things about me, a little, little things about me, but also just having fun with like the metaphor of skin as well. So there's some hover overs. This is me when my skin is tickled. You'll see a couple moles here. And as you scroll around, you see a little questionnaire. So, are you comfortable in your skin? Yes. Skin deep or skinny dip? Skinny dip. Skinny dip. You are comfortable skinny dipping. So there's just like little fun, also interactive elements on the site. Sometimes I don't even know where I place them because it's pretty big. Oh, there's a voyeur, little toast. I thought it'd be fun just to put little Easter eggs in here. Oh, and sometimes, we also have, uh, like in the darkest times of our lives, we might, want to feel a cigarette burn on our skin. Sometimes we feel like there's things crawling on our skin. And sometimes we might want to sell our skin for ad space to generate some income, um, to take better care of our skin. We might get a tan on our skin sometimes, or maybe a little kind of a snow globe. And then the final thing I'd like to show is, if I can find it, it's a lot of skin. I think it's around, oh, that's myself. Oh, okay. And sometimes we grow hairs on our skin and we may want to shave them. So I made this interaction where you could shave the hair until it's mostly gone. It's almost gone. Might take a little more. Sometimes the little hairs are a little tricky. Okay, so you're all shaved, but don't forget to moisturize. So here you can then click the moisturize button and you can slap on some of that nice moisturizer you have bought with the income you generated from your ads. And now your skin is all hydrated and back to how it was before. So now you're moisturized, unbothered, and happy. Yeah, and that is my skin.
Thank you so much, Laura. Yeah, let me drop you two would like to explore some skin, maybe rent it out and it'll moisturize, and drop in a link in the chat here. And yeah, let's that is our show. Let's give it up one more time for all our presenters in the chat, the students of HTTPoetics. It was really a blast spending this summer with you all, getting into a nice creative rhythm, just making big websites too quickly and then making them better later. Really a blast and very inspiring. Definitely, I also feel what Iris was mentioning of just feeling like I always learn new things about websites and get really inspired when I'm seeing people who haven't really made many websites before, who are just like learning some of these things for the first time, what they want to do and what they try and do. And I always am like, oh yeah, that's this incredibly cool thing that no one is doing, and you just gotta even just starting out have figured out this really cool thing to explore. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to teach this class, and shouts out to SFBC as well. If you are here in the chat, you might probably found us through SFBC. I'll indulge myself in one last little tiny video, but yeah, if you aren't familiar with the school, we're a primarily online school where we do 5 to 10 week classes, 4 seasons a year. We're going to have applications opening up for our winter classes, which will start in January. Those applications are going to open up mid to late October, so stay tuned for that. If you want to hear about new SFPC classes, including the next run of HTTPoetics, you can sign up to our newsletter here or follow us on Instagram. And yeah, one last shout out here to the HTTPoetics Anthology, where you can see links to all of the pieces shared today and a few other ones. Yeah, really proud of the work these students put together. And also thank you again to my assistant teachers, Kayla and Tyler, who really helped to make this possible. Alrighty. Thank you to you, our online audience, Kitty Meow Mix, QUU, Jetson Live, Zulema, Terrapine. Great to see all of you, and thanks for being such a lovely audience for us this evening. Alrighty, everyone. That's our show. Really appreciate you being part of it. We're going to sign off here. See you later.